almost incessantly a number of presentations. And if you remember, for those of you who've been there, in the first class itself, we had one of the big Indian corporates, ITC, who made a presentation. And the title of their presentation was Corporate Citizenship for Social Empowerment. Then we had presentations from quite a few NGOs where you got familiar with the world of NGOs. One was Touch World, one was Turnstone Global, one was Helpage. Oh no, so that was that. Then we had interactions with them, Helpage, Gurbar, Cry, Cine, and Vikramshila. And then we had a presentation on leadership in NGOs. So this is what we've covered so far. But the title of the course is Entrepreneurship in NGOs. Okay? So let's look at this whole topic, First of all, entrepreneurship in the social sector. Because what we covered was not just NGOs. We also covered two other kinds of people. One is we covered companies like ITC, which are basically for-profit companies engaged in normal business activities. And we covered a social enterprise. Moinapur Rural Health Foundation is a completely non-profit initiative. It's an NGO. But Narayana Health, which is actually sponsoring them, is a social enterprise but making money. So we need to understand these little new. This is coming and going. So we actually, therefore, we need to understand, we have seen 3 or 4 kinds of entities. We have seen the completely for-profit business enterprise, that is ITC, but which is engaging in the social sector. We have seen so-called not-for-profit companies like Narayana Health, alright? Arvind Eye Hospital is also a social enterprise, but it's registered as a company. And we have also seen pure NGOs. We have also seen some other things. We have seen clear examples of entrepreneurial activity. And that has happened in Arvind Eye Hospital. We've seen that with ITC. But with others, clearly entrepreneurial activity creating wealth has not always been there. Whether it is Touch World or Turnstone or Helpage or Durbar or Cry or Cine or Vikramshila or Moinapur Rural Health Foundation, it's not been entrepreneurship in the way businesses would like to think of entrepreneurship. Okay? So I just want to bring that a little bit to your attention. So what is entrepreneurship in the social sector? So there are 3 categories, or 2 categories. One is non-profits making money. Does that make it entrepreneurship in social sector? Probably not. For-profits doing things to show that they are not evil, is that enough? No. So it's a process of creating value by bringing together a unique package of resources to exploit an opportunity in pursuit of high social returns. So let's take an example. Touch World. Where does Touch World fall in these 3? Can you get a name plates up? A name plates. In these 3 categories, where does Touch World fall? You remember Touch World, the people who are working with prisoners, with prison reform and that kind of, the lady who had come, the prisoners who were dancing and whatever. Where would it fall?
Last one.
Huh?
Last one.
Sorry?
Last one. Last one.
So you think it's last one. Any other thoughts? It could have followed Well, they are not making money, but it could also be an individual initiative making nothing. So what is this? So if this is the third one, how does it become, what is the value they are creating? Yes?
People who are isolated after the prison from the society, they can find their own way in the society, like a new life they can get, because after that they are like, if they stole something or something, they will be exploited, they will not be touched by anyone, they are like the untouchables, and after that they can find a job or something, because normally if you find a new job, you will not be employed after you've been to prison. So maybe they can find a new family and everything will be like a second chance in their life.
Okay. Yes?
I think in the short term they're not like creating any value, like in the process of selling stuff or so.
No, that's exactly.
But in the long term it's about the inclusion of them and actually making them feel better that they are able to work afterwards is somehow creating value, but not like not in the real way.
Therefore, what I just wanted you to realize is that when we say creating value, this value need not only be economic value, measured purely in economic terms. This is what I wanted you to realize, because when we talk about entrepreneurship in the social sector, we do not define value only in terms of economic value added. There's another way to look at it. You see, once you convert a convict or a prisoner into a normal way of life, you also you improve social harmony, and to some extent you minimize the damage of conflict. With every conflict, with every disharmony, you subtract from the value add. So you are reducing or minimizing the reduction from the value add, which means once you get people working together for a common purpose, when they are together in society and community and generally happy, the social cost of the social conflict cost is minimized. So that in itself is a very, very positive thing. Because unless you get society around to thinking that they are working towards a common goal or to a goal that is good for them and good for others, you will, on one side you will have business or even certain things, but on the other side there will be theft, there will be burglary, there will be murder, which takes away a lot of resources. So resources that you are otherwise going to spend for the common good of community or society will go away. Okay? So therefore, the notion that I want to bring to you is value is not only economic, and social returns is high, because why is the social returns high in this particular case? Any idea? Any reason why Touch World would be a high social returns thing? Yes?
Maybe they avoid some criminal attacks in the future.
Yes, and also importantly, this is becoming something that other convicts, other prisoners can also see. So over a period of time, this experiment will get extended. It's a model for not only for prison reform, but for the change of lives of these people, which can become then a model for others to follow. It is an experiment that started off here, but it has the potential of changing lives of many people across the country and maybe even beyond. Of course, it has certain conditionalities of the dance therapy and whatever, but nevertheless, it still stands out as a message of hope. So people who think that they have nowhere else to go and nothing else to do, this is a model for an alternative way. So therefore, it has the potential of generating high social returns. Whether it will or will not will depend, as one person asked, what will happen when you are not there? It was a question asked to the lady, if you remember, in class. So that is a risk, but otherwise, till she's there and running that, or if she finds a suitable successor, the chances of high social returns are there. Okay? Alright, next. So, now here, we are talking about let's say, the more classical ones. So we are talking here process, okay? Now in a very limited sense, it could be a business concept. But in a broader sense, it may not be a business concept. It can simply be a social concept. This is why I have not uploaded this presentation onto the courseware. I wanted to discuss this. In a classical definition, it would be find an opportunity, develop a business concept. This would be true of ITC. This could also be true of Arvind. This would be true of Narayana Health. And maybe one day, because Narayana Health works closely with Moinapur, it may also be something Moinapur picks up from. Because there is a particular possibility of a business concept. Moinapur is still not there. You know, there's very, very nascent, very just about starting. But for others like Touch World, it will never be a business concept. For Touch World or some of the others, it will never, or Helpage for instance. Helpage will never become, remember, Helpage was the old people thing. So the old people thing will never become entirely a business concept. So we need to understand that the process of creating value can be this, but also it can be beyond the business concept as well. It can be developed a social or a business concept, and then this what will be saying. Figure out what success means and how to measure it, acquire the right resources, launch and grow, and attain goals. Are you with me? All right. Now,
I have a question. Sorry.
yes.
Can you go back to that? So, I mean, it looks super easy to figure out what success means and how to measure, but that's one of the biggest challenges in the social sector. How do you measure success?
Absolutely. No, I'm with you on that. So each NGO or each actor in the social sector has kind of put a label on what they think as success. But ultimately, it is the beneficiary, the community, which says, is this successful or not successful? But so far the people that you've met, most of them or their beneficiaries appear to say that this is successful. But the success already is of two kinds. What I'm trying to draw your attention to, and you will see in the course of this presentation, there's a concept of social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is more on an economic thing, but our course title is Entrepreneurship in NGOs. It goes beyond simply the economic value add. So I'm trying to do this and that, I'm trying to, now that you've met all kinds of people, to show you how this happens. Okay, look at this. This is social entrepreneurship. This would probably be true of Narayana Rudaya and Arvind. Look at this. Social entrepreneurship needs unmet by commercial markets and usually the government. So the huge number of people who are looking for a cataract surgery, all right, that simply is a huge opportunity which government hospitals or the traditional private hospitals only are unable to match, and therefore there is a business concept and a model. That is where that McDonald's thing came up, if you remember. So standardize eye care in such a way that it becomes as efficient as McDonald's, and in fact it sustains and it makes more money for that message to spread. What is good about it is that it is a profit-making enterprise, both Narayana Health and Arvind, but the profits are getting fully plowed back for the benefit of society. So it's not just a company like any company which is just doing CSR because it needs to do CSR. Are you getting the nuances? So I'm trying to talk about two things here. One is organizations like ITC, Arvind Narayana Rudayalaya. Within ITC is a purely commercial enterprise which has a social arm. So that is one category. So if you really have met that category, so one is ITC. Okay? So that was our first presentation. Okay? And they are doing some social entrepreneurship here. And what is ITC? It's a purely commercial enterprise. Then we have met the second category, or we have talked about. One is Arvind Eye Hospital, one is Narayana Rudayalaya. These are two. These are social enterprises. Why social? Because they are actually serving a social cause. But they are doing profits and using those profits to spread the message. Here also it is an economic activity. So this too is social entrepreneurship. Now, then comes the third category, which is, let's say, all the others that we've met so far. All the others, by and large, that we have met, whether it is CRY or Cine or Vikramshila or Helpage or Durbar or Turnstone or Touchworth. We met all of these organizations. None of them follow the classical definition of social entrepreneurship because their value addition is happening in a different sense. It is a social value rather than an economic value being created. Now, what is the benefit of that social value? It creates goodwill, it minimizes costs of conflict, it generates social cohesion, it generates social harmony, it brings people into the mainstream of society. To that extent, it has a potential of generating national wealth. Alright? So therefore, these two, and then, so therefore we have the third one, which is the NGOs. All the rest that we've met so far. So here, this is an entrepreneurship, but it does not follow that it is a social entrepreneurship like these two. Now you get it? What I'm trying to say? Okay. So this I will probably upload for you, but you must understand that that this is now this is what I would like to talk to you about. Look at this. Look at this thing. Does it tell you something? So all of these are, there are two kinds of people we are seeing. One is non-profit with earned income strategies. That also is, Touch World is not like that. But if you will, can you tell me some examples of this that you've seen? Because these are your NGOs. Can you tell me examples of this non-profit with earned income strategies? You've met some of these. Huh? Touch World doesn't have much earned income. It's not a good example at least. Which are the ones with non-profit with earned income strategies? That means they are doing something. Economic. Yes?
I don't know the name, but once with the elderly people who are actually selling the cigarettes and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the name.
Help. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Durbar also, DMSC, remember? Dr. Pratim Rai had come, that is the people who work for the commercial sex workers. So what are they doing? They have a cooperative. There are many activities. They are actually pooling together resources from everybody and giving them education, giving them, so they are managing finances in a big way for all the people there, number one. Number two, they are also undertaking through their cooperatives, they are making things which they are selling. So DMSC also has earned income strategies. That means these are organizations that are not dependent for their work on charity. They can carry on their work without depending on completely third parties to give them money. Okay, so almost except Touch World, because Touch World really has almost no monetary transaction. Most of the others like Turnstone Global, Helpage, Durbar, Cry and Cine all have this component. Vikramshila again is somebody who works purely in the field of education, and therefore there the money is not so obvious. So therefore that will be this here. So you realize, yes, one is this, which is dependency, and the example is Touch World to some extent, which depends for donors, depends for its money on other people, or it can also be Vikramshila. People who are working with educational reform, but there is not much money there. There is no, thing happening there. Whereas with Cry, for instance, Cry is generating money through selling cards, through selling various things, but also, so therefore, they are self-sufficient. So here again, okay, you realize that these are self-sustaining. Now, what about this? For-profit with mission-driven strategies. What would you say these are? Sorry? This would be the Arvind and the Narayana Rudaya. Because what is it? It's generating profit, but the strategy is driven by mission. The mission is eradicating needless blindness. Or in Narayana Rudaya, it is making sure that heart care is affordable by everyone. So it's the mission that is paramount, but to sustain the mission, they are generating profits, and with that profit, they are building more hospitals. So are you with me? Is there any doubt? ITC is here, or at the borderline of this. They are good ones which are doing for society, but they are still entrepreneurs in the classical sense of the word. So they are not the bad ones. There are no names of bad ones here. Microsoft also does a lot for the society, so Apple, Microsoft, whatever. So they are not on the bad side, they are here. Probably just after this. So basically they want to be good citizens, good corporate citizens. So they will be exactly beyond this. Not too far down that scale. So they are profit driven, but they also want to be corporate citizens. So these are at this end, not at this end. If you take the whole thing, it's not here, but somewhere here would be for-profit company which wants to be a good corporate citizen and wants to help society. Example, ITC. For-profit with mission-driven society, that strategy, that means the entire profit is actually going, or most of the profit is going to promote and drive the mission. That is Arvind and Narayan Rudaya. This is non-profit with earned income strategies. This is the cooperative in Durbar, or the strategy that you had in Helpage, or in fact, this is what some of the NGOs are asking you about. Because all the NGOs remember when they came and spoke to you, all of them said, help us become self-sufficient. How can we reduce our dependence on other donors and how can we carry on doing the good work? Can you show us the way? They might not have said it in so many words, but this is what a lot of them would have meant. That, okay, show us the way. And some people said, okay, fine, can you help raise some money for us? So, this is here. So you see the examples here. Sikh Kids Foundation, Salvation Army. So this is where Touch World and Vikram Shila come. Because they are not dealing with money. So there is no way they can carry on their work unless people give them money or give them resources. So in this course so far, we have looked at, therefore, two dimensions. One is non-profit and for-profit. We have also looked at two dimensions of growth, mission and profit. And we have looked at three things here: dependency, self-sufficiency, and sustainability. So all three motivations we have looked at. And that is what makes it different. Okay? Alright, now look at it. So are you with me, everybody? Any problems so far? Okay. Now look at something else. Look at this graph. Now you see what I said, mainstream business. This is your ITC. If you look at the major activity of ITC, it is like mainstream business. Whether they are into paper, whether into cigarettes, whether into hotels, whether into fertilizers, whether into agriculture, they are mainstream business. So that's what we started with. Then we have talked about socially responsible business, and you'll see more examples of that. This example is, once again, Narayana Health and Arvind Eye Hospital. Or, sorry, my mistake. Mainstream business would be the arms of, let's say, the companies which don't have significant activity in, in social sector. The companies that we are normally used to. Socially responsible business will be ITC. Social enterprise will be Narayana Health and Arvind Eye Hospital. And then you have public services. Okay. And then you have volunteerism. Are you understanding this now? Mainstream business, just remember, what is it? Consumer market selling on price, quality, brand. You just arrived in campus or what happened? Okay, so these are purely consumer buying, selling activity. You got it? So I am sorry for my mistake. This is not ITC. ITC is here. Some green and fair trade branding. Great attention to supply chain management of ethical and environmental issues. Remember how they were sourcing on agriculture and so forth. So this is where ITC is done. Business can be done in a socially responsible way. Meeting social goals builds a better business. That's the motivation. Social enterprise is here. Look at it here. Social goals are primary. Business is a way to achieve them. Meeting business goals creates more social impact. So this is how Arvind Hospital has now 5 hospitals. They are now building a 6th one in Chennai. Narayana Hrudayalaya is expanding. Okay? So therefore, the goal is social. Business is a way of achieving that. I'll give you this. I'll edit and give you this. So this is that. Okay? Now come to this last category. Yes?
Can you take the example of public services?
Public services are the one where government participates. Government participates, take any example of where government participates, it would be public services. Any social activity like education, this is government. Government hospitals, government schools, that is public services. Because what is it doing? It is getting money from tax and borrowing and is generating public employment. Then you look at what is it? Government essential to provide non-market public goods at scale. Neither the voluntary sector nor mainstream business can do. So this is public education, public health. And now you come to volunteerism. Now volunteerism, where does it come from? The inputs are donations, charity,